Everyday English Podcast
by English Talking Today.
Hello everyone and welcome back to English Talking Today. I'm Mary and I am so happy to have you join me for this week's episode. I hope you've been having a fantastic week and that your English learning journey is moving forward smoothly and enjoyably. You know, I talk to so many of you every single week, and the one question that comes up more than any other is, Mary, how do I finally become fluent? It's the big question, isn't it? And often, when people think about fluency, they picture themselves locked in a room with a huge pile of grammar books, studying for 4 or 5 hours straight, or maybe they imagine themselves having to memorize the entire dictionary overnight. But what I've learned, both from my own experience and from watching thousands of successful English learners, is that fluency rarely comes from those intense, grueling sessions. It almost never comes from trying to cram a whole lot of information into your brain at the last minute. The real secret, the actual breakthrough, lies not in those marathon study sessions, but in consistency and in daily habits. And that's exactly what we're going to dive into today. We're going to talk about the 7 easy morning habits that fluent English speakers often have. You see, the way you start your day sets the tone for everything else. It sets the mental stage for success, or it can set the stage for struggle. If you start your day feeling rushed, disorganized, and disconnected from your language goal, it's going to be an uphill battle all day long. But if you begin your morning with simple, manageable, and enjoyable English habits, you immediately put your brain into an English thinking mode. You make the language a natural, integrated part of your life, not just a subject you study. Remember, fluency is not about being perfect. It's about being able to communicate effortlessly, and that effortlessness comes from practice that feels easy and natural. It comes from making English part of the rhythm of your life. And there's no better time to establish that rhythm than in the calm, quiet hours of the morning. So let's get into these 7 simple habits. They're not hard, they won't take up much time, but they're incredibly powerful. Our first habit is start the day in English. This is probably the most foundational habit on the list. When your alarm goes off, what's the first thing you think about? Most people immediately start thinking in their native language, planning their day, thinking about breakfast, or worrying about a meeting. But what if you made a small, deliberate effort to connect with the language from the moment you wake up? I mean, really, from the absolute moment you open your eyes. This doesn't mean you need to launch into a complicated monologue. It means thinking or even whispering a few simple sentences in English. For example, instead of thinking in your native language, you could simply think, it's morning now. Time to get up. I need a coffee. What is the plan for today? Just those 4 simple sentences. They're short, they're basic, but they immediately prime your brain for English input. Think of it like stretching before a run. You are stretching your English muscles. One great way to do this is to keep a little note near your bed with a few English phrases written on it. Phrases like, good morning, world, or I am ready for this day, or I feel awake and positive. You look at it, you say it out loud, and boom, you have started your day in English. It only takes 10 seconds, but the mental shift it creates is huge. The second habit, and this is one of my personal favorites, is listen while doing simple things. We all have those moments in the morning when our hands are busy, but our minds are relatively free. Think about making breakfast, brushing your teeth, doing the dishes from the night before, or even just getting dressed. These are what I call dead time moments, and fluent speakers are masters at turning dead time into learning time. Instead of letting your mind wander or listening to the morning news in your native language, use these small, routine moments to listen to English content. This could be an English podcast, a new English song you enjoy, or a very short story or a summary of the news. The key here is that it should be simple, enjoyable, and something you don't need to focus 100% on. You are not studying grammar. You are simply bathing your brain in the sound of the English language. This continuous, low-pressure exposure is what builds listening comprehension and helps you internalize the natural rhythm and intonation of English. For example, when you're making your coffee, just put on a 3-minute English segment from a travel vlog on YouTube. You're not sitting down to watch it. You're just listening while you measure your grounds and boil the water. You'll be surprised how much your brain absorbs passively when you do this consistently. Moving on to the third habit, read something small but consistent every single day. Now, when I say read, I don't mean tackling a complex novel or a dense academic paper first thing in the morning. That would feel like work, and we want these habits to feel easy and enjoyable. What I mean is reading just a little bit, maybe one page from a book you love, a short article on a hobby website, or even a few paragraphs from an English news app. The important thing is that it should be about a topic you enjoy. If you love cooking, read an English recipe. If you love sports, read a sports headline. This is a gentle way to wake up your mind with English words and sentence structures. It's a quick, focused burst of input. The consistency is what matters most here. Reading one page every day for a year is infinitely more effective than reading 10 pages one day and then nothing for a month. It trains your brain to expect and process English text daily. So, the next time you pour your first cup of tea or coffee, instead of immediately grabbing your phone to check social media in your native language, take just 5 minutes to read one paragraph from a simple English blog. It's a tiny step with massive cumulative benefits. Our fourth habit is crucial for active skill development. Speak out loud, even to yourself. One of the biggest barriers to fluency is the fear of speaking and the unfamiliarity with the sound of your own voice speaking English. Many learners can read and listen well, but when they try to speak, their mouth and tongue feel clumsy. This is because they haven't practiced the physical act of speaking. The morning is the perfect time to practice this in a judgment-free environment, your own home. You don't need a partner. You simply need to describe what you are doing, feeling, or planning. For example, as you are choosing your clothes, you can say out loud, "I need to choose my outfit. I think I will wear the blue shirt today. It is going to be a little cold, so I should also bring a light jacket. Yes, the blue shirt and the black pants." You are practicing forming English sounds, linking words together, and getting used to hearing your voice articulate English thoughts. This is a form of self-talk, and it is incredibly powerful. It builds muscle memory for your mouth and boosts your confidence. You can also describe the objects around you. For example, "This is my favorite mug. The coffee is hot and smells great." Try to do this for just 5 minutes while you are getting ready. It's a low-pressure way to transition from passive learning to active production. The fifth habit is often overlooked by learners who are always rushing to new material. Review and repeat something you learned before. Learning new things is exciting, but true mastery and retention come from reviewing. Fluent speakers understand that the brain needs repetition to move information from short-term memory to long-term memory. So, in the morning, instead of immediately diving into a brand new lesson, spend a few minutes reviewing old material. This could be looking over your vocabulary list from last week, repeating 5 useful expressions you heard in a video, or rewatching the first 60 seconds of a short English lesson you found particularly helpful. For example, if you learned 10 new words related to weather last week, spend 3 minutes looking at those words, saying them out loud, and trying to use them in a simple sentence. This habit ensures that your hard work doesn't go to waste. It reinforces your foundation, making your language base stronger and more stable. It's much easier to learn new things when you are confident in the things you already know. Think of it as solidifying the foundation before you start building the next floor of the house. Our sixth habit is a wonderful way to connect your emotional and mental life with the English language. Write one small thought. This is not about writing a long essay or a perfect paragraph. It's about taking 1 or 2 minutes to write 1 or 2 sentences. You can write about how you feel. I feel very tired this morning, but I am excited for the meeting later today. Or you can write about your plans. I need to go to the bank and then call my sister. Or maybe you write about what you are grateful for. I am grateful for the sunny weather and a quiet morning to enjoy my breakfast. You can do this in a small notebook, a digital note, or even a simple document on your computer. The act of expressing your own internal thoughts and feelings in English is a deep form of practice. It clears your mind for the day, and most importantly, it forces you to use the language to express something meaningful to you. It's a bridge between your native language inner voice and your English inner voice. It helps you articulate abstract concepts and personal experiences, which is a key component of real fluency. Again, aim for consistency, not perfection. 1 sentence a day is far better than a page once a month. And finally, the 7th easy morning habit: set a small goal for the day. Don't start your day without a target, no matter how small. A goal provides direction, motivation, and a sense of accomplishment when you achieve it. This goal must be simple, actionable, and specifically related to English. Don't say, "I will become fluent today." That's not a goal, that's a dream. Instead, set a simple, concrete goal, like, "Today, I will listen to the entire 10-minute English podcast," or "Today, I will use the new word efficient in a conversation," or "Today, I will watch 1 YouTube video without subtitles." By setting this small goal in the morning, you focus your energy. When you achieve that goal in the evening, you get a rush of positive reinforcement, which makes you want to do it again the next day. It turns the entire process into a positive feedback loop. It's about intentionality. You are telling your brain, English is important, and I will make time for it today. This habit ensures that English learning doesn't just happen by accident. It happens on purpose. So, let's quickly recap these 7 easy, powerful morning habits. Start the day in English. Think or whisper a few simple sentences upon waking up. Listen while doing simple things. Use your dead time, like making breakfast, for passive listening to English content. Read something small but consistent every single day. Read 1 page or 1 short article on a topic you enjoy. Speak out loud, even to yourself. Describe your actions, feelings, or plans in English. Review and repeat something you learned before. Spend a few minutes reinforcing old material like vocabulary or expressions. Write 1 small thought. Write 1 or 2 sentences about your day, feelings, or gratitude. Set a small goal for the day. Pick 1 simple English task to accomplish before the day is over. Do you see how none of these habits requires you to block out 2 hours of intense study time? Each of them is manageable, taking maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and they are all designed to integrate English into the natural flow of your morning. They shift English from being a subject you study to a tool you use for living your life. And that, my friends, is the most direct path to effortless communication and, ultimately, to fluency. Try incorporating just 1 of these habits tomorrow morning and then add another one the day after. Be patient, be consistent, and watch how quickly these small, simple habits transform your English ability. Thank you so much for tuning into English Talking today. I hope this episode has given you some great, practical ideas for improving your morning routine. Now, before you go, would you like me to find some short, interesting English podcasts that would be perfect for your morning listening habit? That's a wonderful idea. I found a number of excellent short English podcasts that would be perfect for your morning listening habit, right when you're making breakfast or brushing your teeth.